Hello everyone. We are going to be doing a live Q&A. We're just going to wait for a couple of people to come on in. If they do, we'll get started. But we'll get into this pretty quickly. Not going to wait as long because it is 9 a.m. I'm just going to chuck the air conditioning on and we'll get started. All right, let's get this started. All right, what is up, everyone? Welcome to the Rage Traders Nrl Supercoach podcast. Today, we have a live Q&A. I do have some questions that have been sent to me both on YouTube and Discord that we're going to go through. I haven't seen these questions yet, but we'll read them as we go and answer as we go as well. All in all, we still just want to focus on a bit of a strategy talk today as well, because people are trading heavily, I think, to try and catch up to a lot of the points leads, and people just getting really far out. And obviously the overscoring in NRL at the moment is an assistance to what is happening currently in Supercoach. So the more points that are being scored in NRL, really the more points our players are getting. And if you fall behind with that because of the rules changes, again, we have to trade pretty heavily. Again, let's just get straight into this. If you have the time, I'd really appreciate you to like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube. That really helps out. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, a 5-star review really does help me out. And also, if you want to join the Discord, it's in the description below. Completely free, no stress. Come on in. We talk NRL Supercoach and NRL all week in there. All right, let's get this started. So I'm going to start off with the YouTube comments. We don't have a huge amount here, but maybe we'll get some people coming in asking some questions. If not, we'll just leave it at that. But let's start off with Lockie asking, is Munster's time as an elite Supercoach option up? Don't know if I can sell him at 550k. Also considering going Sewer to Teddy as a little antipod. So two questions here. Let's focus on the first one first, and then get into the Sewer talk. But look, there's no doubt that we are finally seeing a Melbourne Storm that aren't as consistent as what they have been in the previous years. Munster now has a 76 break even. And on top of that, last round score of 43 in a game where they got a bit pretty heavily outplayed. But if we look at Munster's draw coming this week, he has Canberra away, Souths, Dolphins away, West Tigers, Parramatta away, Bulldogs away. The problem is I think if you were to move off Munster, you would have to do it now, or you should have done it a bit earlier. Now, we know what he's capable of. Can Melbourne turn it around? Now, Canberra are not a team that are a defensive juggernaut this season by any means. So there is an easy chance that, one, Melbourne could still win this game for sure. Like, Canberra haven't been playing at a high tier level. And two, he could be a recipient of the points. Now, one thing I think that we are seeing is because Xavier Coates is not playing in the team, a lot of the attack has gone right, and a lot of it runs through Jerome Hughes at times. Although I do still see Cameron Munster being a very heavy attacking running player, and it could be something where you're going a bit sideways here. I think if Luai wasn't such a heavily traded in option, we wouldn't really be talking about Munster. However, he's already lost $127,000. That's a lot of money. And it kind of is very similar to KL Ero for me, where you've kind of stuck out the hard yards. Maybe just stick it out for a bit more. Now, there is no shame in going a Purdue. I think if you did that, though, again, you should have done that 1 or 2 rounds earlier. But because he only got about 55 last week, maybe you can sneak a Purdue in. I know a lot of people are going Luai. I'm not for that trade. That's just my opinion. I don't really see the merit in it. But maybe there's other 5/8s you want to look at. Maybe we'll just have a quick look at the 5/8s here. Now, look, Jake Clifford, he's gone way past his mark. Do not look at that. I don't actually mind, in my opinion, if I was to go to another 5/8 right now. I know a lot of people say Cody Walker. That's fine. If you can wait for the buy, maybe look at the Braden Trindle option. They would be my 2 options right now if I was really, really forced into something. Or if you can swing anything, I think it's Fletcher Sharp. Now, again, I don't know what Newcastle Knights we're going to see, but I do think you have about 3-ish options that I would sort of give the tick of approval for. So, yeah, that's what I'd sort of say to the Munster thing. Is he a must hold? Definitely not. Is he a must trade, however? I don't think he is. The problem is you've seen the form that Melbourne are coughing up. I still think Melbourne, however, are going to score points with Canberra this week. And I think, you know, Munster could get an easy 60 this week. Now, maybe he will still lose a bit of dosh, but I still think it's worth to hold him for one more week and just reassess, especially with Braden Trindle coming back after the trade. On top of that, you spoke about considering going Sewer to Teddy. I'm not for that. Look, I love the Teddy pick. He's coming into my team this week, but I also think Sewer is capable of a lot. Now, at the start of this week, I wanted to bring Teddy and Drinkwater in and have Teddy, Drinkwater, Turbo. But even when they got absolutely annihilated last week, you know, Sewer's still putting up about 60-ish points. Like, that is a really good sign of someone who's still going to get you a good, okay score if things go bad. Again, when they verse even South, Dolphins and West Tigers and Parramatta, geez, not having Silverfire logo there is very, very scary to me. If there's another way you can get Tedesco in while keeping Sewer, I would recommend that. At the moment, my fullbacks are Tedesco, Silverfire logo, and Turbo. Reason I haven't gone Drinkwater is just because of the next 2 games right after the Seagulls. So for me, that's a no. Again, I think that's just trying to chase a draw and some points where I think over the next like 6-ish rounds, maybe they'll be very similar. Maybe Silverfire logo will be even more than what Teddy produces, because Teddy actually hasn't been playing at an absolute elite level. It's taken time for the Sydney Roosters to sort of get together. So yeah, for me, basically I would just not do that trade. It's a bit of a sideways trade. Hello everyone. Hello Top Dog. Hello Ryan. How we doing, lads? I'll get to your questions if you have any in a moment. But I hope you're doing well. Love the content, bro. What's the best Joe Chan replacement that's roughly around the same price? Can be any position. That's from Daniel James. That's a bit of a broad one, but can be any position. So I assume he's got some his flex open. I really, really like Tallis Duncan. Now, if it can be any position, I'm going to throw another pot out there for you. Now, the only reason I do and do not like this pick, one, he's been absolutely doing amazing work while the team had been doing bad. And now that the team is doing good, he was still doing amazing. I just don't know whether he's going to drop out of the team because there's multiple centers, and that's Nrl Tuala. I've been looking at Nrl Tuala very, very heavily. And if there's one person, if I had 4 trades this week, Nrl Tuala would be in my team. But I've played around with him. I think he's about $600,000 flat. He's just, I know you wanted something like similar to Chan price, but I really like Nrl Tuala. Tallis Duncan, I think, is really, really good as well. These are the 2 guys I'd really be looking at. Tuala, to me, especially with the Bulldogs draw coming up, is just, he could, if he stays in this team, which there's very much like a big chance he will. They have the Bulldogs, Parramatta away, which, you know, Bulldogs should score at least 24 points this game. Broncos away, which is obviously a bit tough, but they are decimated. North Queensland at home, Dolphins away, so more points there. Sharks away, which will be a tough game. Melbourne at home, which should be points in it, West Tigers away, and Parramatta again in round 14. Now, I really like that they also, Nrl Supercoach misses out on the round 12 bye, so he's going to be playing against Melbourne, and guess what? That's Origin players out. That's no Harry Grant. That's no Cameron Munster. So it's a very wide open draw for the Bulldogs there. That's who I'd recommend. I mean, I can't go through everyone because it's every position, but they're two of the guys that come to my head already. Who are the main targets for the bye rounds? Well, I actually did some research into this a bit before, but funnily enough, Canberra have a really nice draw during the bye round. So if there's someone you wanted to target, and I think this is why Simi Sasagi is just going to increase in value, they have the round 11 bye. They have then no bye until round 18. And, Hudson Young's going to be leaving the team. Maybe that makes it even more so that Simi Sasagi gets more ball. They have Dolphins, North Queensland, Roosters, Parramatta, Melbourne away, which could be restings from Melbourne after round 15, St. George into the bye in round 18. So that's something you really want to look at. Maybe if I saw that a couple weeks ago, I would have jumped on Simi Sasagi from that, but I didn't. But yeah, that is something you really want to look at. I think also for memory, I don't mind. St. George was the other team. The problem is, who do we go there? Who do we go there from? Also, Canberra-wise, Tamale could come back and start playing really good footy. Obviously, Hudson Young isn't going to be there. This could be also another player where you look at someone like Tarpanay during that time. So there's some people you need to watch out for. St. George, they have a bye in round 9, but they only have their first bye in round 15. So they negate that round 12 sort of major bye, which is good to see. And I really like Souths as well, and this is why Tallis Duncan is such a nice pick for me. He has the round 13 bye, round 16 bye, which is apologies, he doesn't, or they do. Let me check. I've got the lines wrong. So they have the round 13, and round 16 bye, but I like that he is playing in those major byes, like North Queensland on round 12 without, Tommy Dearden, without maybe Murray Talagi or who's the other guy? Ruben Cotter for North Queensland. This is going to be something where South could maybe put on some points. And then obviously, yes, they have round 13 and 16, but I think you can play around that a bit because of you're going to have people back in 13 and going to have people back in 16, where 15 and 12 are more of the major buys that you're trying to really focus on. I think also Warriors was a big one for memory. Let's double check that here. But yeah, Warriors have the round 14 bye and round 18 bye. I still like them for this period. I mean, they've got St. George, Penrith during this time. I don't know if there'll be restings to the Penrith players on round 14. They do have a bye in 14, but again, they play the major in round 15, and Warriors are on fire at the moment. But yeah, that would be it. Melbourne, not bad, but with so many outs, I just couldn't really look at that. And yeah, I haven't done too much looking into the bye players as of yet, but I'm really trying to, besides Tedesco, not pick anyone else that will hamper my bye rounds. Hope that helped you out as much as possible, because it's a very tough question when it's such a there's such a broad amount of people you can choose. Give me a sec in the chat, guys. I'll get to your questions straight after we get all these through as well. Thanks for the content, Big Dog. Scapegoat says, appreciate your time. Is Kinney a hold now, or do we take the cash and run before the buy after the Warriors game? No, I think he's definitely a hold. The main thing people will be looking at is either Drinkwater or Tedesco. But now that you've held him for a -9 break even, you're absolutely mad to trade him. He's definitely a hold. You don't even know what could happen in this Warriors game. I think the stat was that the Warriors had not beaten the Gold Coast Titans since 2019. Now, that could be completely incorrect, but I saw some wild stats. So you don't know what could happen this game. And at the end of the day, all it takes is one line break assist, one line break, one try assist or try from Kinney, and you're making some serious cash. So definitely hold. Do not trade a player on a negative break even that's playing. Daniel Rafferty says, thoughts on Jesse Arthurs? Also, what to do with Yo? He comes into a softer draw. Do we think he's minutes stay big, or do we think we can probably trade him off to a higher upside player? I'm not a massive fan on Jesse Arthurs just because of all the other it's not to say that Jesse Arthurs isn't good and that he might make you a bit of cash. It's just that I think you're going to miss out on a ton of points that are going to come from Tommy Turbo, that are going to come from James Tedesco, possibly Kinney, Suafar Logo. I mean, I don't really want to hold up one of these 3 or 2 spots for Jesse Arthurs in a depleted Broncos team. I think that's just too much of a risk to take, and points are your friend right now in this period. I would say no to that. So yeah, that would be my thoughts on Jesse Arthurs. Even with the softer draw. If they have won the Broncos, I'm not sure if they do. They have West Tigers away, Bulldogs at home, Sydney Roosters away, Manly away, New Zealand away. I'm not really happy with that. So no, that'll be a no for me. And if Reece Walsh comes back early, then it's just going to really hurt you. So no. Again, Yo with the softer draw. Well, the weird thing is, right, I was a Yo owner. I sold him last week or the week before to Twal. I think it was last week, and I thought the game where they absolutely dominated before the Bulldogs, I think they scored about 50 points. Can't remember which one it was. I think it was against Parramatta from memory. I was like, oh my gosh, they're dominating again. Yo is about to come off. And he played the most random 80-minute game when they were absolutely dominating, which makes me think that maybe he is going to get rested in these coming games no matter what, because he's already played the 80 minutes here and there. So for me, I do think he is a trade out. He's not a must trade out now, but if you have set up in your team in a multitude of ways and you're like, okay, maybe it's time to move Yo, there's so much value in the 2RF position, like it's absurd, that Yo's consistent 60, 65, 55 plus score actually doesn't warrant his price. So you could go Simi Sasagi, you go Tallis Duncan, you could go Jacob Preston. I think all these like picks are way better, and there's much more upside. So I think it is time to move on to Yo if you can do that luxury trade. So yeah, that would be my take on him. Scapegoat asks again, I've got another question. What should we do with Grant? Brayley and Robson will probably get picked for Origin, and Sandon Smith probably gets dropped for Dylan Brown when he comes back. It's looking pretty derelict at hooker. What should we do with Grant? Well, I think you just hold him until Origin period. I don't think you're forcing a trade into the hooker position at all. Brayley and Robson will probably both get picked for Origin. Well, that's an assumption. I think that I don't think both will get picked for Origin. I really don't. I mean, I could be wrong there. I'm hoping it's just Brayley plus more of a utility player like Kurt Mann or something, where or just someone that isn't just a straight out hooker position player. Like maybe it's a Connor Watson instead of Robson, and then Connor Watson can be in the lock. He could be in other positions as well as hooker that accompanies Brayley. So I wouldn't base your Grant trade or wanting to trade Grant or do something with Grant off an assumption of Brayley and Robson. So just hold Grant. Yes, Storm have been playing average, but don't touch your hooker position. All right, let's go to the Discord quickly. We had some questions here, some from Scherzer saying, is it time to sell Suafar Logo, and who would you sell to? No, we've already gone through this, so no, I would not sell Suafar Logo. Do we actually believe Iro will score better? Are we going to sell? I'm going to give him one more round against the North Queensland Cowboys, which is next week after the bye. If he does not perform, he will be out of my team. How much is too much to pay for Twal? At the moment, I think now is the must time to buy him. anything over like 750, 800,000, I think is really kind of pushing it, but he seems to be the keeper of the season in my opinion. But yeah, just the guy doesn't need tries. He doesn't need try assists. He just gets his stuff done. He's literally the new Payne Haas. I think it's Bella. I forget how to pronounce. It's just B asks, got both Carrigan and Val Holmes in my side. Thoughts on what to do with them? Carrigan will miss 2 games and then be back in my team for 3 games before going on Origin duties. And Val, well, just unfortunately plays for the Dragons. I'm holding Carrigan at the moment. That's not to say you shouldn't sell him. The thing is, I really like, I know this is weird in saying this, but the fact that he misses the 2 games, it's against pretty tough opponents, which is not a bad thing for Carrigan, but he'll get a bit of a rest here, which makes me think he'll come back for a 70 to 80 minute game. He'll miss out on West Tigers away and then Bulldogs, and he'll come back for Sydney Roosters away, Manly away, New Zealand away. And I really like that for Carrigan, and I think he's just like a round 12 sell, and that's it. I understand people want to move him because of the cash, but we've got such big cash generators. Like I've got Jesse Colquhoun in my team. Maybe if you don't have a lot of cash generation in your front row forward and 2RF, for me, I do, that I can have him sit there. But yeah, I don't think he's a trade out at the moment. Val Holmes, however, it's really tough. I think there's way better CT dubs, and he just hasn't been performing really a lot with the Dragons. I think it's getting very close to a sell for him. He's just been very, very annoying to own, and I feel sorry for owners for him because they expect better. Valentine Holmes, 639,000, 127 break even versus Souths. I think it's time to go. I can't see him doing a huge amount of work. I mean, if Dragons somehow come out and play the best football I've ever seen, that's going to suck for you. But 127 break even is pretty massive. I would consider maybe moving him on. But yeah, big risk if you don't. Mac asks, would you trade Purdue to Luai? Luai has a negative 26 break even and Purdue has peaked. Purdue has not peaked. First of all, Purdue is versing the Manly Sea Eagles this week, and I would never in my life be trading out Purdue with a Cowboys team in such amazing form that they've just completely turned it around against Seagulls, who have been playing okay but can leak a massive amount of points under Kieran Foran. I think this could be the round where they really just get thumped a bit. But yeah, definitely not for me. Luai, I think, is a bit of a bait, in my opinion, and that's just my take for sure. Let me bring up the chat here. What's up, everyone? We've just gone through some questions. Thanks for joining in. Random live QA. Stephen here. Would you use your last boost to get upgrade Sewer back to Herbie and get Twal in? No, not for a last boost as well. I think Sewer is a hold. Herbie's versing the Panthers. I think you can wait 1 week on that as well. And just see how Dolphins come out and look after the bye. Now, if Dolphins come out and look like a really good team and it's like, okay, this is a different team, do everything you can to get Herbie the following week. Ryan, thinking of going Stefano to Clark or Garner. I'm actually not for this Clark trade, but continue. And for Feeder to Capewell. Thinking of going Stefano to Clark, Garner, and for Feeder to Capewell to bring in 2 pod 2RS with good matchups. Clark gives me way more cash, but role is not certain. I'm not 100% on this Clark play. As soon as I saw it in like the trades list on Supercoach, I was very, very surprised by it. I'm not for it. Garner, I'll tick off. I don't mind it at all. Whether he gets 80 minutes or not is completely we'll just find that out on game day. But yeah, it's very tough. Capewell as well, coming back off an injury. Maybe you want to wait 1 more week. I think... I know people are off Stefano, but people are off Stefano because of what other FRFs and 2RF dual position players are averaging. Now, like, if Alex Twal was only getting 60, 65, people would be like, you know what, I'll just hold Stefano. But I think because of all these points that people are seeing, people are like, I can get rid of Stefano. I think it's a pretty sideways trade. And I honestly think even though Stefano isn't producing like a 70 or 75, you can just hold him for a bit longer, in my opinion. I tick off Fafita though. Fafita to Capewell, if you want to go there early. Warriors are in great form. The Cooper Clark trade for me personally, I don't trust. But again, completely up to you. Ryan always says, Stefano to Ghana done via Mooney Jewel. Okay. Well, good luck and go with your gut. Kieran says, would you downgrade Chan to Can or Ghana? I would do to Ghana out of those two for sure. Thomas Can, I don't trust the Newcastle Knights next 3 games. They've got a pretty tough draw coming up. Also, a lot of chop and changes, injuries here and there. I wouldn't be risking it. I'd just go with Ghana. You know the team. You know that they are a premiership capable winning team. He's in a position where you know the injury is like pretty long for Liam Martin. So yeah, just go with the safer pick on that one. And he could actually be a nice pod as well. Kieran also asks, either one allows me to either get Twal for Mooney or Tedesco for Eero. Not sure which one I'll do first. I think I would go Mooney for Twal because I think you're pretty much guaranteed an 80 there unless you want to take a risk on Tedesco as a captain. So the problem is you're trading out a player that's guaranteed not to lose cash because Eero's on a buy, where there is chance Mooney could lose slight cash and actually still have that 40-ish point game in him. So really, if Twal gets a 75, Mooney gets a 45, that's a 30-point swing. But if you get Tedesco and he gets a 120 and you captain him, there's way more value there in that. So I would say if you want to be ballsy, Tedesco is the move. If you want to be safer, Mooney to Twal is the move. Danny, hello, how are you? I'm tossing up Marky Mark, Teddy, or Preston for my flex. I'm unsure on who is best. Well, no one knows who is best until the games are finished, unfortunately. But if it was me and it was my team, Teddy is getting locked into that. For sure. Because the reason being is I know that Roosters are going right a lot, and I understand that. But I also think in these games where the draw opens up for the Roosters, there could be some line break, long range tries where Teddy is more has more chance to get a support run in, get the ball, score a try, or be that one to do that long range break. And you don't know, like Marky Mark could make the break and Teddy could support it and still get the try. But that's just me. Saying Purdue has peaked with the 69 break even is wild. I do agree with that. Thank you, mate. Love your content. No problem. This is Howie29. I'm running with Fafita to Toby Couchman and Chan to Ghana. Was considering Delamontini Zalesniak instead of Ghana. I like the Waz run a lot. Currently ranked 15 in Rage Traders. Wow, well done. The one thing I'm scared about with Toby Couchman is just Ryan Couchman coming back next round. That's the only thing I'll flag. Yes, he's been putting up amazing points, but just be aware of that. Maybe that impacts his output a bit. Chan Ghana tick. DWZ, I don't tick. I know they're versing like the Gold Coast Titans, but I just don't like the floor of DWZ. I just think there's some games he can pop out of 20 to 30, and it's so frustrating to see. But again, if you want to take the risk on that, go for it. Go for it. Just go. If it's in your gut, you go for it. Simple as that. Simple as that. Anyway, a short, sharp video, lads. A very short, sharp video. Thanks for joining in on the live at a random 9 a.m. on a Thursday. I wanted to get this out before the game on tonight, where the Cowboys are going to win 36 to 14. Just remember, I said that. Okay. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for asking some questions. Hope that helps with everyone who asked a question and I answered. If not, I apologize. I haven't done my job very well. And I'll see you on the next one. Wolfie here from the Rage Traders. Take care. Good luck.